everybody, it's Megan T. Garrett here, and I'm bringing another Q&A video to you this evening. What I want to do this evening is show you basically how I set up my film equipment. I had a lot of help with comments and on my Discord server, which we have a Discord server, link in the description, that give me feedback on like how my webcam is doing, how's my green screen doing, how is my lighting doing. So I had a friend who gave me a lot of this stuff for my birthday back in September. Previously I just kind of used whatever was in the background, like a wall or something, but they got me a green screen and some lights from Amazon. They got me one and I got the rest. So I just want to basically show how I set that up. So for instance, like when you see me do like another Q&A video, or you see me in the green screen and it's recording from the webcam on my computer, I want to basically go through that entire process. So let's get started. I'm going to walk towards you guys, and I got 3 bags laying on the ground. I don't know, they're probably not in view here. So this first bag is the green screen and the frame that holds it. And my friend got me the green screen, and I got the stand that holds it. And the green screen stand basically comes in 3 main parts. Get this out of here. First of all, we have tripods. Now the way that I measure the height of these tripods is there's a bunch of thumb screws on all this stuff. If I bring it up, let me get in front of the bag here. So when I set it down, I want this base touching the floor. So I bring it up, up, up. Nope, wrong way. Bring it up, 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 up. There. And then I latch that down. Next part is this tube right here. I want to extend it all the way. And I'll tighten that up. The idea is to get these tripods basically the same position every time. So, whoops. Now I come over here and try not to block your guys' view. But I try to put the 2 legs at the edge of the mat next to the freezer, and 1 leg pointing towards the center for stabilization. So, rinse and repeat with the other tripod. Same thing. So we bring it out. Helps if you loosen thumb screws. That makes this job a little easier. Push these up. Okay. Again, towards the bottom. There we go. Tighten that one down. This one, extend it all the way. Alright, and bring this one over here to your guys' right. And if it's on the mat or off the mat, it's okay. It's a little more unstable if it's off, but I think that's for the width of the screen, I think it has to be. And that little wiggle's okay. Now, they may not be exactly the same, but we're going for ish. As long as it's lined up ish. Now, next part is I have these rods. Now the rods I'm looking for have a big hole in the top. There's 2 of those. There's 4 here you can make a really wide, like I think up to 20 foot. So this one has a hole in the top, and this one has a hole in the top. So I want to connect those together with the little pinch things. Okay, that's together. Now what I got to do is get this on top of the stands. Now, let's see if I can show this without getting too much in the way. There are thumb screws, or wing nuts, these are wing nuts, on top of these stands. You gotta take them off. Of course they take forever. Come on. Okay. Then you take off 1 washer. Put that in my pocket. And put that there. And I'm ducking so you can kind of still see what I'm doing. And see how that stands a little too far away. So we're going to scoot that a little closer after I get this wing nut off. So hold that. I'm probably not in camera anymore. There we go. How's that view? Now you guys can kind of still see what I'm doing. I'm going to get this wing nut off of here. I'm not the best in making sure you guys can still see what I'm doing. Alright, so take the washer off. It's like green screen gymnastics when I'm trying to get in the camera. And there we go. That goes on there. Alright, so I'm going to replace this one. Just the top of this. Come on, Wingnut, work with me. And I'm just going to leave that loose for now. And the other one over here, let's see. Ow. Let me see if that stand is still in the right place. Yep, that's where I want it. And we're going to leave that one off for now. And bring this stand in a little bit. And doop. Okay. Yeah. Now Phil will stay right there. Don't move. Perfect. Alright. This is the point at where I put the green screen on. Now my friend did mention to me that there are ways to get the wrinkles out of the, or the creases that kind of packages with. I just haven't taken care of that yet. So, the way I know which way this goes is this is the top, and it's like a bed sheet where there's one side where the stitching is, I can feel the stitching and there's a tag, and a side that's not. So I want the side that's not facing you guys. So, I basically get the top, throw the rest underneath here, and the reason I didn't put this one on is because I'm going to take it off. Don't you fall over. Bring it out and start feeding this onto this rod. And I hope I am not completely blocking the camera here. Probably not. There we go. Okay. Once you get it started, just kind of, the rest goes on there. And I'm not going to spread it out yet. Just trying to keep it out from under my feet. Okay. Back on the top of there. Alright, now I can get that other washer and wing nut back on the top of here. I hope this kind of stuff is interesting to you guys. Is that actually being blocked? I don't know if that is. Yeah, you guys will let me know if you actually can see it or not. Alright, now I want to crank these down on either end. Okay. Now that those are down, now what I want to do is raise this bar all the way up. So I want to loosen that one. And loosen the right one, make sure. Okay. And just lift this up to the top without stepping on the green screen. I notice you guys are looking a lot at my back. Sorry about that. That one. Now, since usually when I'm using this, oh, the dogs are upstairs, just ignore them. Most of the time you can't see the poles in the frame, so I'm not really too concerned if it's square or if it's completely level. What I care about is that you guys got a decent background. I'm going to spread this out now. And go this way. And that's the green screen, basically. So now, basically, everything from here is based off how this green screen is set up. I don't care if it's angled a little to the left or a little to the right, but it's this distance that I'm going to base everything else off of that I'm going to set up. So there's 2 more poles in this bag. Those are for if you want to have a wider green screen. And I think it can actually, no, I can go taller than that, but the poles are limited by the ductwork. Alright, next part, and there's 2 of these. My friend got me one of them. This is a softbox. I never thought of using extra lights in my kit. Again, tripod, same deal with the other, this one with the other ones. But apparently the softboxes really make the light more uniform across. And I guess it makes it better to see. I don't know the whole details and everything, but I've gotten positive feedback from them. So same deal. Just test the bottom. Doop, 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 doop. Good enough. Twist this on. Now, what I do for this pole to get it to the same height as I untwist it and I use 2 fist lengths, like that. And then I basically crank it down from there. Crank it down, give it another check. Oh, it went up a little bit. There we go. And that's how I know the right height is achieved. Now in this bag, I'm going to leave the tripod right in the way of the camera, get down there, is the actual softbox in the bag. Okay, so I have the cord wrapped around here. Let's just get that out. Okay. Now, there are 2 adjustments on this thing. One is a tilt, and one is the actual clamp to the stand. So, for the clamp, what I do is I untighten it, and it's kind of a ratchet system. I do it 8 times. And that is pretty much level. So I tighten that back down. Then I get my little tripod. Normally I would have these facing the other way. Okay, so I put it on the tripod. There's a screw you got to kind of get back out of the way and then crank it down. Okay. Now what I do, whoop, that doesn't quite seem level. Here, let's work on this. There we go. That's better, I think. Huh. I'll look at it once we get it set up. So this is the softbox, and it's got a like a fabric on the top. But you got to reach inside, and you won't really be able to see this, but there's like a collar that you got to push back against the frame and lock it in. There. So now we come to the front, and since I packaged this up, it's got a little twisted. Oh man, that looks really twisted. Luckily it's just Velcro. So, da-da-da. Right, corner, and Velcro on the top. Make sure the rest of this is kind of in. Alright, now I know this is kind of getting wrinkled up. I don't know if that really matters or not since it's such a bright light. But that is one of them. Now, the one thing about these that, and they don't even have the lights in them, but if you barely knock them, they fall forward. So I don't have sandbags for these yet, but I plan on getting those since I like to run into stuff and knock it over. Okay, so that's one of those. And I'm going to make you guys sit through me setting up the second one. Sorry about you. And hopefully, let's see, stay in view. Okay. My wife helped me set up the camera this evening, and she's been absolutely wonderful in helping me do that. And she basically said I can walk anywhere in here and still kind of be in view. So, credit to her for helping me set up the camera. Okay, same thing. Hey, almost got that one perfect. There we go. Tighten it down. Okay. 2 fists. Tighten that down. Double check. Okay. Where's that other one? Good. Okay, it's not in my way. Okay. I don't care if the tripod's in the way now because you guys can still see what I'm doing. Or I've seen it once. Alright. Second softbox. Like I said, my friend got me one and I got the other. So basically it would have 2 angles of light. I know you can do it with one, but you have more trouble with shadows, and I just wanted to make extra sure. And okay. Ratchet system. Count with me. Alright, thanks for counting, guys. I really appreciate that. Sometimes I lose count when I'm doing stuff like that. Anyway, tripod. There you are. Put this on here. Tighten it down. Okay. Is it on there straight? Anyway. There we go. Okay, so let me see if I can do this. See if I can give you a better view here. Blind person giving you a better view. I try my best. Okay, so I'm going to take that screen mostly off. So maybe you can reach, if I'm pointing towards you guys, there we go. Reach inside here and there's a collar, push it back and into place. It's basically the collar that goes around the light bulb. So, it looks pretty level. Why is it tilted? Why are you tilted? Okay, and like I said, guys, before, a lot of this is just ish. We're not aiming for absolutely perfect here. I've gotten good reviews on, or not reviews, but no negativity about my setup, and everybody understands that I do a lot of the setup myself, and that I'm blind. And they're like, that's not bad for a blind guy. Okay, so let me turn this one facing this way so it doesn't fall over. Okay, now there's one thing missing from the soft boxes, and that is light. So I keep the lights separate because they are breakable. They're in these little styrofoam things over here. And isn't that the biggest CFL you've ever seen? It's the biggest one I've ever felt. So, the way these work is, I guess I'm going to have to take this off so you guys can actually see what I'm doing. Okay, there we go. And I go around this way. So the light bulb actually screws right into the middle of this. The light bulb screws right into the middle of this. There we go. Now we got it. And screw from the plastic. Okay, now put this thing has a name. I don't know what the name is. Alright, now if you're not careful, oh, and I didn't put the corners on this one. Okay. Alright. Yeah, so that light is lit. Well, it's not on yet, but it's got a light bulb. You know what I mean. Okay. Second light bulb over here. Same dealio. World's biggest CFL? Yeah, probably not. But anyway. Okay. Take the top of the screen off. Again, second light bulb, collar, screws right in there. Hey, got that one good. Okay, they don't take much. Alright. Alright! See? Told you. They fall right over. So, I gotta get sandbags for these things. Okay, I am realizing I am facing away from the camera a lot. Hope you guys are okay with that. Okay, so these are my two lights. Let's see how I did with getting them the same height. Alright, this one is slightly lower than the other one, so I'm going to take it up just a notch. And I mean like... Okay, see if that was enough. Come in front again. Hey. Not quite enough. Oh, but I think this one's actually leaning forward a bit more. Let me get those corners on there. There we go. Well, they're about the same angle, it's just this one is sitting lower. So, let me get this here. Okay. I'm going to call that close enough. Okay, so what now I'm going to do is put these off to the side for the moment. See, that one almost fell over. Sandbags. Okay, get the cords out of the way. Alright, so now it's time to set up where I'm actually going to sit. Oh, let me get this bag out of the way. Ugh. Okay, cord. Bags. Ow. Okay. Maybe out of camera, not sure. Not going anywhere, don't worry. Right. Now comes the most folding. I tried to say something punny and funny there, it didn't come out right. The folding chair. So what I do here, so I know I'm facing away from you guys, but I do distance with my arms and then distance with my legs. And I kind of gauge to the middle of the green screen. Then I take a seat. Oh, I finally get to sit down. And I judge with my arms. So, try not to favor to one side or the other. And I'm just barely this way. Not enough that it actually matters too much. But, see, that is basically the setup for my chair. So, leave that there. Now comes the little folding table. And this is just a little folding table I've had for years. I set it on the highest setting. Okay, for this, take a seat. I use my feet. I don't know if you can see that, but I use my heels against the legs and the table. Judge my distance. That is basically the setup and how far away my table usually is. Okay, now for my lights. I gotta squeeze them in here, so about here, and I want to try to twist the tripod so one leg is facing forward and get the cord going backwards. Okay, now don't fall over. So I'm basically gauging it by the edge of the table right here, just around the corner. And I want to do the same with this one over here. Hopefully I've left myself enough room. Oops. Yep, plenty of room. I actually am favoring that way slightly. So, hey, no using the table to stand on. Stand on your own 3 legs. Okay. Now I know they're not the right angle, but they're about the right distance. So now I have to go all the way around. Okay. Now, let's take a seat. About the same height. Now, this one is facing a little steeper than the other one, so I'm going to move it just a little bit. Okay, table. Now you can't see my arms with the lights in the way, but chair's right, table's right, lights are, this one needs to come in a little bit more. I'm going to call that good enough, because when my arms are here, it's good, and then when I spread my arms out, you can't see my arms in most way. It's about the same. So that's where I'm going to leave. Oh, but see, now this one's a little too far back because it's not on the same angle as the table. So let me adjust this one this way. Yeah, I like that better. It's not perfect, but it should at least give me the light I need, because when I'm sitting back, my laptop's here, it's not going to be in front of my lights creating shadows. Chair, lights. Okay. Now for the final thing, we actually need light. So let me get the extension cord for that, because I got an extension cord, that way I can have the freedom of setting my lights anywhere I want. This is an Amazon Basics cord. And I hope you guys are still finding this stuff interesting. I know this is super basic stuff, but I thought it would actually be a good idea. Okay, that's the male end. Here's the female end. Okay, now I gotta find the cords. So, okay. 1. And if I can find it with my feet or the stand with my hand. And I gotta be very gentle touching these, because just a little knock will knock them over. Okay. And this one is not plugged in the wall yet, so I don't have to worry about getting shocked. Okay. Now I'm going to flip these switches. So when I plug it in, it will turn on. That one seems to be flipped already. There's a little mark on the light switch. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and plug it in. Alright, here's the end. Come over here, probably off camera again. Plug it in, and hopefully the light doesn't throw it totally off into on focus. Alright, now I have to go around and see if it's still on, or if they turned on. They don't make any noise whatsoever. Alright. Oh, I can't tell if it's on or not, is it? Okay. One way you can tell is these bulbs give off a little bit of heat. So you just reach in and go, yep, that one's on. after a while, you can sit here and feel the heat coming off these lights. Reach in. Yep, they're on. All right, so now my lights are on, and I am looking good. I hope the lights are set up good enough. This is about the same type of method I go through to set up the lights. We're missing something now. Oh, we're missing the laptop. That's what we need. Okay, next. Okay. Now, when I'm sitting on my couch in the living room, the couch is low enough for this table that I don't need a prop for my laptop. This chair doesn't sink down like the couch does, so I need these books. These are actually Braille books, and they're part of my Braille Bible to actually be accurate, or precise. So I try to line them up in the center, and the reason I use, one going opposite ways is these books are kind of wobbly. They kind of slant from one side to the other, so I use two to make sure it's as level as possible. So I just try to line them up with the flat edge of the table and use my hands as spreaders to kind of get it centered. So that is my little redneck booster. All right. And the last element, I don't know if you guys have ever, I talked about what kind of computer I actually record on, but this is my MacBook 13-inch MacBook Pro. And it's got JAWS on it. So, no, it's not a MacBook 13-inch MacBook Pro, it's a 13-inch MacBook Pro. So I set this on here, on top of my books. I try to line up the back edge with the books. Now, I try to angle the screen. So, two things that you won't be able to see is I get in centered in my chair, and I go to the center of my chest, or like that on my chest, and I feel the mouse pad, and I see if it's in the center of my chest, which it is. I bring my hands out and to the sides of the laptop, kind of see if it's in the center of the books and of my shoulders. It's a little to the right. So I set it up that way. Then I do another check with the mouse pad. And then for the screen, I basically try to go-ish for 90 degrees with the screen. And then I take my hands from the top, and I know if I lean a little forward, I'm barely going to brush the top of the screen. So that gives me a distance of 1 if the angle is right, and it's a little, there we go. And it tells me two things. 1, if the angle of the screen is okay, because of how far I'm leaning forward, and if my left and right hand are touching it the same. So it's another left to right and left to right twisting check. So then I log into my laptop. Oh, my Discord's up. Let's actually log out of that for now. Turn this up so you guys can hear it. So then I go to OBS. Wait for that to load. Okay, so now I know you guys can't see OBS right now. If you want to see a video of how I don't know how I would actually show that since it's got to do the recording. But I go to my scenes that my friend helped me set up. I want webcam only. Okay, then I tab until I hear start recording. Alright, so if setting up the green screen, setting up my chair correctly, setting up my table, setting up my lights, my redneck Braille Bible books, setting up my laptop, and doing all that with just basically judging distance between me and, where's that pole? There it is. And everything else, it should be okay. So, you guys ready to move into the laptop? Here we go.
Stop recording, checkbox checked.
Okay, so if I've done everything correctly, like with my green screen, making sure my distance is okay, making sure my chair's in the right place, making sure that my table's in the right place, my lights are angled correctly, my books and my laptop are angled correctly, and my screen is pointing in the right direction, it should look normally like I have it set up before my videos. So we've come to the end of another Q&A video. I really do enjoy making these. I feel like I'm educating you, and I do believe it's excellent content that I'm putting out there for you guys. So if you want more Q&A stuff, please let me know in the comments, or any other of my Q&A videos, what you want to see. We did have a cooking one that I recorded, but we found that my GoPro that I had on my head didn't quite capture it correctly. So we're working through that, and that will probably be one in the very near future. But I want to continue doing these Q&As. I think these are great. And I don't want to resort going back to Google and typing in, how does a blind person be? Let's try to see if we can keep that from happening and keep the questions coming and rolling in. So we've come to the end of the video, and if you're brand new to this channel, I welcome you. My name is Terry. I'm a totally blind individual, and I started doing video game videos here on YouTube as a blind person. And I've also incorporated fitness, firearms, and these Q&A videos. So if you like what you see here, please hit that subscribe button and hit that notification bell as well, so you know when we're coming out with new videos. And I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your evening.